Dear veterinarians, students and farmers, Assalamu alaikum and good evening. Welcome everyone to today's discussion on welfare evolution in buffalo species by risk assessment methods, a part of classiform system, organized by Udder Health Bangladesh. A welfare assessment involves exam to ensure good health and well-being, as well as monitoring for any signs of pain, distress, or suffering. I'm Dr. Sabrina Firdaus will be with you to facilitate the discussion today. Our today's speaker is Dr. Domenico Vecchio from Italy. He is a veterinarian with PhD in animal breeding, currently working at IZSM, Italian National Reference Center on water buffalo farming and production hygiene and technology unit. He has a specialization on animal nutrition and reproduction and working experience in Italy and Brazil. In 2014, he was appointed as Associate Professor in Animal Science and Surgical, Clinical and Veterinary Reproduction. Dr. Domenico is also a member of our ongoing Swedish-funded project, Climate Change Mitigation by a Sustainable Water Buffalo Dairy Chain in Bangladesh. He is interested in several aspects of breeding techniques and reproductive biotechnology of the buffalo and other bovine species. In addition, in wild health perspective, his main interest of the research is on adaptability of farm animals to the environmental stressor and the consequences on human and the environmental health. He is currently working on following research area: identification of predictive metabolic biomarkers in transition period of disease state in dams and in offspring, biomarkers of acute stress responses in animal breeding, interaction between biosecurity levels and animal welfare, effects of breeding environment on technopathy.
Maybe the poor network there.
Yes, I think so. Okay, I think it is okay. So I can read the rest of this. So in this today's session, we have several distinguished colleagues and as a panelist, and they will contribute in our discussion. So as usual, we have our colleagues, Professor Abdul Samad. So Samad sir was a former director of and dean of Maharashtra Animal and Fishery Sciences University, and he is also a dairy consultant in India. And Professor Dr. Bhuminand Devkota. He is a professor of Agriculture and Forestry University, Nepal, and president of Asian Buffalo Association. I think he is still not here, but we hope to see him. And we have our friend and colleague Dr. Rashedul Alam from Veterinary Animal Sciences University. We have also another colleague from Pakistan. He is Dr. Rajwali Khan from University of Agriculture, Peshawar. He should be here. And Dr. Hiranmay Vishwas, Deputy Director, Department of Livestock Services, Bangladesh. I would also like to request our colleagues during the discussion to limit their discussion short only to 3 to 4 minutes. Additionally, also they can ask questions if they want to, then it will be easier for us. And so, Domenico, now the time is yours, so you can continue your discussion. Thank you very much.
I try to share. You can see the presentation?
Yes, we can see. We can see it.
Yes. So, thank you very much to stay here today. And thank you, Professor Mizan, and the organizing committee for the possibility to talk about our work on buffalo welfare. Today, we talk about an integrated system called the classifier, and in particular about an aspect of this system, the evaluation of animal welfare in buffalo farm by risk assessment methodology. Well, the challenges of the health sector and the agri-food industry have been made more complex in the last years. Some aspects as animal welfare, the consumption of drugs, biosafety, as well as the health risk associated with them, are becoming increasingly interconnected, thus necessitating an integrated approach. In this framework, the Italian Ministry of Health has worked to a series of innovations to permanently change the aspect of animal health in our country. Therefore, the challenge of the future is to start a process of implementation and development of this innovation. Our work is try to conjugate this force that just apparently are in contrast. The goal is obtain the economical sustainability of the farm by the production of food safety in respect of the environment and animal welfare. This is possible if we valorize the level of animal welfare and sustainability as intrinsically value of the product. So, to proceed with the categorization of the risk of breeding, the Italian Ministry of Health strongly wanted to equip itself with an effective system. Classifier is an integrated system aiming at the categorization of the farms according to risk assessment methodology. In this it is an innovation that allows to facilitate and improve the collaboration between the breeders and the competent authority to raise the level of safety and the quality of food of animal origin. The new platform shall draw up the data collected by the competent authority during the performances of the official control, those made available by the system already in use, and those of the self-control made available by the breeder voluntary and inserted by the corporate veterinarian. In this context, the veterinarian represents the connection between the farmer and the competent authority and support and assist the farmer in the strategic choice of management to improve the health and welfare condition, also based on a level of risk detected by classifier. So classifier permits to collect the collection and processing of data relating to the following evaluation area: animal welfare, biosafety, antimicrobial usage, and injuries detected at the slaughterhouse. This point is now performed just on swine farm, but the implementation in ruminant farm is very, very near. Through scientifically validated coefficients, all the data are converted in the numerical indicator that measure the current level of risk of the herd. Today, our rule is try to harmonize this element. Animal welfare, to have a more effective physiological response to the pathologies by the maintenance of the immune system of the animal. Biosafety, to reducing the risk of spreading pathologies. And as a consequence of these two objectives, the reduction of the use of drug, principally the antimicrobic, so that we can reduce the antimicrobial resistance and the residual in food. The project starts from the exigence of the Ministry of Health to develop and manage a system to evaluate the welfare of different species, based on risk assessment method in accord with the national and European law. In the project named Ruminant Welfare, starting in 2015, the National Reference Center for Welfare Evaluation, CREMBA, as the leading unit and listed the support of various operating units, particularly with our center to develop a scheme for assessing welfare and biosecurity of buffalo farm.
Excuse me, Domenico.
Yes.
Actually, we are seeing your first slide only here. We are seeing your first slide only.
Okay.
Do you please would you please check it?
Okay,
Maybe,
no problem.
Maybe you are just describing, but we are seeing the only first slide here.
Okay. So, why talk about buffalo? The buffalo represents today a very interesting species in constant growth and a very potential resource to optimize the production of food of animal origin in a tropical and subtropical region, as demonstrated by this data. So we have an increase starting 1998 in the total number of buffalo in the world, arriving in 2018. So, and another aspect, interesting aspect, is if we consider the world milk production, the milk wool fresh for buffalo and for cow, we can see that the production increased between 2011 to 2018 of 32.6% and 10.7% respectively, compared with cow. Just a moment. Right. Okay. This is a scheme of Italy condition. In our country, there are about 409,000 heads of this 74 breeding company region. There are 2,212 farms. 86% of these are dairy farms. And another important aspect is the size of the farm. Only 8% has more than 500 heads, and while 51% breed from 100 to 500 heads. So the dimension is not very higher for the farm. Finally, the longevity of the species.
Excuse me, Domenico.
Yeah?
Actually, would you please present your presentation in presentation mode, and we actually see your introductory slide only. Maybe you are giving.
Oh, sorry.
You should move the slide.
Okay. Now you see my slide? Actual slide?
Actually, not yet.
Okay.
Would you please try again?
Just a moment. I share. Now?
It's coming. Yes, it's perfect. And please go to the presentation mode. The presentation mode. Would you please share this in presentation mode? Yeah.
I try to put in the second slide. Can you? Is active?
It's not yet. Would you please try again?
Oh, try to. Try to show the presentation is for. I think that is. You see the changing in slide?
Yeah, it's moving now, but um, uh,
I try to. Yeah, I
it
understand.
will be great if you share this by the presentation mode.
I try
Then we
to
can see
share
it.
the monitor and not the panel. Okay. Just a moment. Sorry. Okay. I think that now you can see the presentation in presentation mode.
Not yet actually.
Because and now,
Okay. Yes, it's perfect now.
okay.
Yeah,
So
great.
uh, sorry for the problem in the continuation of the presentation. So to date, only Italy has established an official system for the traceability of milk production, and the Inter-Buffalo Supply Chain Science 2014, which provided real-time information on milk production. The establishment of this system was favored by the economic value that the supply chain represent for the country. In fact, Italy, which rank 50 globally in the term of milk production, produce 97% of the buffalo milk produced in Europe. Only the buffalo mozzarella cheese, that is the protected under the European Protected Design of Origin, PGO scheme, is estimated at a sale value of 766 million of euro per year. So if for those interested in learning more about this aspect of traceability system, I'll leave you the link to the paper. And going to the core of the presentation. So after this image of the breeding system buffalo, we ask, what is the animal welfare? Many definitions are proposed to define the concept of welfare that must include the emotive aspect and not only the healthy aspect of the animal. I think that this definition is the most accurate and synthetic. Welfare is expressed by the adaptation capability of the animal to the environment in which it lives. This affirmation is very important because including welfare definition two elements, animal and environment, and express the level of welfare by the type of relationship between them. So we want to evaluate the welfare, we must consider this concept, animal, environment, and interaction, positive or negative within them. Not all animals are adapted for all environments, and not all environments are adapted for all animals. Rapidly. In this image, we can see the theoretical reconstruction of curve among animal benefit and human benefit. If we start by the natural level of welfare with the intensive or semi-intensive breeding system, we can increase the level of animal welfare and the livestock productivity. For example, to applying the correct and constant nutrition, or to protect the protection from predators or parasites. So the problem is not the intensification, but the level of intensification. When the intensification is balanced with animal exigence, structure, and management quality, we obtain an optimization of the resource and income. Otherwise, when the intensification, like in this case, of the farm is exasperated, we obtain an unacceptable welfare level and the presence of a problem in the farm that require a cost to be resolved, and in more times, an increase of impact in the environment. How to measure the animal welfare level? As indicated by the European Food Safety Authority, the methodology to be used is the risk assessment, developing the tools that are objective, conform to what is provided by current legislation, used by properly trained veterinarians, with application time compatible with the business need, and that return a measurable quantitative value of the total welfare level and the level for each breeding area, useful for the technician and breeder to identify the critical point and to solve them. Okay. The identification of a target population and its exposure scenario is a prerequisite for identifying hazard in macro areas. By identifying these phases of breeding system, we have the ability to identify animal, environment, and interaction between them. After the identification of the target population, the process, as previously described, include two groups of elements. On the one hand, the input is represented by the environment, where we identify the hazard that can affect the animal welfare in positive or negative effects. The risk represents the measures not based on animal. We can observe this element without the observation of animal. On the other hand, the output is represented by the effect expressed by the animal in response to the environment. The effect is measured by the animal-based measures, and ABM are divided in two groups, direct or indirect IBM. Direct IBM that we observe on the animal, like a lesion or a body condition score. Indirect IBM is that we observe on the book of the farm, of the register, like annual incidence of adult or calf mortality, for example.